I am Dev Raturi. I come from India. I've been living in China for 19 years. I started off as a waiter in Indian restaurant in the city of Shenzhen. Now I own more than dozen chain restaurants in many Chinese cities. These restaurants do not only offer people to enjoy Indian food, they also serve as a cultural center to know about Indian culture. I hope in the future I can open more restaurants and contribute to the cultural exchanges between India and China.
In early June, Indian businessman Dev Raturi launched his latest restaurant in China. The restaurant, situated in the eastern city of Hangzhou, is as large as 350 square meters. Its seating capacity amounts to 150. To date, Raturi owns 15 restaurants across China, spanning from the city of Xi'an to Wuhan, Kunming and Hangzhou. Undoubtedly, Raturi's booming business is part of the story of the growing Chinese economy. It has also resulted from his nearly 2 decades of hard and smart work in China. Raturi first came to China in 2005, when he worked as a waiter at a restaurant in the southern metropolis of Shenzhen.
At that time, I told myself to work hard. It would be wonderful if I can become manager of the restaurant. China is a land of opportunities. If you have ideas and ability, people will come to help you and you will succeed.
Raturi quickly adapted to the new environment. He is gifted in languages and has an outgoing personality. It only took him half a year to learn to speak fluent Chinese. His hard work made him stand out, and he gained one promotion after another. 1 year later, he left Shenzhen for Beijing and then worked in the Chinese capital for 7 years. He served in various managerial positions in different high-end restaurants and earned a handsome income. But this aspiring young man was not content, and he wanted to have his own restaurant. In 2012, he quit his job and dived into the risky business world. He traveled to many cities and carried out a lot of research before finally choosing to locate his first restaurant in Xi'an in northwest China. Raturi says he loves the city so much for its rich historical and cultural heritages. As he notes, Xi'an had been the capital of many powerful and prosperous dynasties in ancient China and served as an important economic and cultural hub along the ancient Silk Road. 1 year later, he officially launched his first restaurant.
On September 27, 2013, I received the first batch of customers to my restaurant. People were standing in line. It is beyond my expectation. I thought it would be a success that we could do 10 to 15,000 RMB revenue a day. It turned out that we made 35 to 40,000 a day. I was encouraged and happy.
In the following years, Raturi gradually expanded his business. But in the risky business world, difficulties and failures are inevitable. He recalls that he suffered a setback when he tried to launch a restaurant in the southwestern city of Chengdu in 2017. He invested 3.6 million yuan in the undertaking, but it was closed only half a year after its launch. He says he still wants to cry when recalling the experience today. In hindsight, Raturi says he was not familiar with the local market and made a bad decision concerning the location of the restaurant. Its bad location meant there were few customers. As a result, he ran up a debt of more than 1 million yuan. He considered giving it all up. Luckily, amidst this difficult time, he received crucial encouragement and assistance from 2 of his Chinese friends, who lent him money to help him restart his business.
One of my friends gave me 200,000 yuan. Another one lent me 100,000 yuan. With the money, I opened new restaurant in the city of Baoji, which is not far from Xi'an. The restaurant took off. I succeed. Since 2018, my business has been right back on track.
Now a successful businessman, Raturi is grateful that he has met lots of warm-hearted people in China who are willing to help him.
When I was mired in difficulties, I was reluctant to ask for help from my Chinese friends. But when they know my difficulties, they were willing to help me. I think Chinese people are really friendly and willing to help those who are integral, honest, and work hard, no matter where you come from.
At present, each of his chain restaurants receives about 100 customers per day on average. And every year, each one of them brings a revenue of about 4 million yuan, or about $550,000. Right now, there are more than 100 employees working at his restaurants. 40% of them are from India.
Most of the chefs working at my restaurants are from India. We want to bring authentic Indian food to customers in China.
Each of Raturi's restaurants provides more than 50 dishes with new ones added every half a year.
Indian food is known for its curries. Two of our popular dishes are chicken tikka masala and fried rice with pineapple and seafood. The latter dish is very popular among women and children because it is not spicy. Meanwhile, naan bread is also very popular.
Raturi says he has operated his chain restaurants not only as a place people can enjoy authentic Indian food, but also experience Indian culture.
I would say each of our Amba Palace Indian restaurant is a cultural experience center. When you step into our restaurant, it seems you step into India. Our decoration and are infused with Indian culture. We also put up Indian dancers and our workers wear Indian clothes such as sari. We also celebrate Indian festivals and so on.
Through his restaurants and himself, Raturi says he would like to improve mutual understanding and cultural exchanges between Indian and Chinese people. He often posts videos on his social media accounts to share his experience in China.
Through my sharing on social media, people in India and other countries can see how I turned from a waiter to a successful chain restaurant owner. You know, I came to China as a person without money and without a good education. Some people may not like China, but my experience shows that you can succeed in this country if you are honest, smart, and work hard.
In 1976, Raturi was born in a small village in the state of Uttarakhand, in the northern part of India. Coming from a humble background, he began striking out in the world after finishing his secondary education. His fascination with Chinese culture, especially Chinese Kung Fu, finally led him to come to China in 2005 when he was 29 years old. He says he now sees his dreams of leading a happy and prosperous life coming true in China. And he encourages people to come to China to try their luck.
China is a land of opportunities, and people are willing to help you. What businessmen fear most are that government agencies and officials create troubles for you. Many countries have such problem, but in China I have not encountered any such problem. Instead, I have got a lot of help from the local people and Chinese government.
He shares an experience of applying for a visa for one of his chefs coming from India.
Local official from a different department told us how to apply visa in a most effective way. If we did that without their guidance, it would have taken 15 days. With their guidance and help, we figured it out in about 3 days.
Raturi adds that it's very efficient for him to obtain operating licenses for his restaurants from local Chinese authorities. Take his Hangzhou restaurant, for example. He says it took no more than 3 days. As an experienced businessman in China, he offers some advice for people who aspire to do business in the country.
You should ask professional people for guidance. For example, if you want to run a restaurant, you should ask guidance from someone who has already been working in the field.
Now, Raturi has lived in the city of Xi'an for more than a decade. He jokes that he has become a native of Xi'an. He got married in 2011 and has 2 sons who were both born and live in China. Treating the country as his base and his second home, the Indian businessman is ready to launch himself into a bigger world as he eyes expanding his business both in China and to the United States and Europe. With that, we conclude this edition of Footprints. Thanks for listening. I'm Bob Jones. If you're interested in hearing more about the lives of ordinary but incredible people in China, follow us on your favorite podcast platforms. Just key in Footprints and you can find more stories anytime, anywhere. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.